This is from our scrapbooks. We work a lot with scrapbooking because we put all our ideas into books. In the beginning we used these photo albums, old photo albums, but now we are making the books ourselves. We recycle paper and we make the sewing and we make the covers. We do all. Yeah, this is our brain. Everything is in this book. Everything that can be glued in the book goes in the book. Like these buttons, this is old buttons, I think it's for underwear. And we also work a lot with these Norwegian folk costumes. This is a piece of a lady's dress from Setesdalen in the southern part of Norway. Some of them has very strange mixes of colors, but they can be very nice in the collections. This is also from our scrapbooks. This is a collection from a collection we made in 2000. This is something they called a flower weave. It was very popular in the 70s. So we made one jacket. We were weaving like hell for many days, and then we made crochet around and put it together, and we made this jacket.
It took a very long time.
Very long time. For scrapbooks, we collect everything we found about knitwear, everything we can find, and we put it in these books. It can be pictures like this from fashion magazines or from a newspaper.
And our favorite patterns or sweaters, they come from the 50s, because in the 50s, people, designers and regular people were very, very experimental with shapes.
This is my grandmother. She's on Easter holiday up in the mountains where I come from. We have an out farm, so every Easter we went up in the mountains to go skiing and have the trip saved after my grandmother. So actually we have a lot of these because she was knitting all the time. And this jacket was her finest jacket for many years. She had.
I don't really need to show this picture because Arne is a good model. Yes, he's wearing the sweater that we made of the patterns. It's called Blue Mountain. Did you say that?
Yeah, she called it Blue Mountain jacket, and we also found the pattern. Also now we know it's the Blue Mountain jacket from a yarn supplier in Norway called Sandnes.
We have a lot of plants now.
So inspired from her, we also started to make our own universe or micro.
We saw them before there. I mean, we saw butterflies in other places, but suddenly we had them in our own garden. So it really inspired us to, you know, work with the insects. And we have this as a part of our inspiration universe. And in the new book, The Knitted Dolls, which is coming, I think, in May, to the Netherlands, there is a whole chapter inspired by the insects in the garden and what you can use, you know, different colors and shapes and so on.
This is also another very good inspiration. It's from the carpeting classes in primary school. So we made a series in a collection with this, like knit, and we also had prints and embroidery. But this is actually a pattern inspired from a drawing for an airplane. This is from a project that I was cleaning the attic because I take care of, I save all these things, I can never throw away anything. So this is all jackets and all sweaters, which were all worn out. And then I cut them in pieces and I overlocked it and I sewed them together. And I made different patterns. When you knit it on the machine, the thread has to be there all the time. So then we had to change the pattern. In the museum, somewhere outside of Reykjavik, we found the books with patterns from Iceland and this Icelandic knot. In Norway we call it valknute.
Okay, very popular in Germany. We didn't think about that after. In the north of Norway we got also inspired by the thick sort of sailor sweaters that they wear, the fishermen, and also the Icelandic. This is an Icelandic...
It's like, it's so easy to make a ball, and it's fun to make a ball, so why don't we have to give this away to people? We can't sell it for €100. So we went to the publisher in Norway and asked if we can make a book about Christmas balls, because we have many. And so we did. And
we have more.
And we have more.
But we stopped at 55 because otherwise the book would have been too thick. These are all homemade, so we have knitted. Well, I was stuffing them, you were knitting them.
I was knitting them, and I was knitting like hundreds because I had to try different yarn and different colors. Mittens for kids, child mittens. There's a lot of patterns of those also who can be used on the Christmas ball because the numbers of loops goes very good with the mitten.
Very important. So my grandfather and my great-grandmother had to be on the wall over the bed. So it's the details that count. And of course the horses. There you have the rocking horse that somebody put on a mitten. And this is a story about a pig that lives in a fireplace.
And that's what they did where I come from when I was, or my great-grandmother. They had always a pig in the fireplace, and then it's always one of the pigs who doesn't get milk from her mother or his mother. Then they took him into the fireplace, and he lived in the fireplace until he was too big. And then they put him back in the barn, and they ate him for Christmas.
Very cute story. We show you a few of the projects that we are proposing for Easter. For example, you can do little sweaters to warm your eggs, the egg warmers. And then you can embroider your own letters on them. So we have in the back of the book all of the alphabet with each letter. And if you have a big family, you can knit one for every member of your family. The only reason we actually took this picture was because we wanted to show people why the rabbit doesn't have any pants. And it's because the tail is too big and it doesn't fit in the pant. So we decided to do like Donald Duck, you know, he always has the top, but not the bottom. And this is absolutely the most favorite picture we have in the book. And this is a picture that any Norwegian person will recognize because it's traditional in Norway to take a backpack when you go skiing. And this is like a really old model backpack. I think it's from the military, right? What happened here is all his other friends are expert Norwegian skiers. They were born with skis on their feet. So they arrived already a long time ago. And they're sitting in front of the fireplace reading their påskekrim. And this poor one here is not born in Norway, and he doesn't really know how to ski that well.
He's been falling
and
down.
You can see the snow on his butt and on his tail. It's from falling all the time. So that's what happened. This is coming in May in the Netherlands. Yeah. And it's our fault. It was supposed to come now, but we made an Easter book.
So in this book we said we want to be on the cover.
Because we were going to knit ourselves.
We should knit ourselves.
Here you have all the dolls in the book. And it's a very nice picture because it shows how different they are. Each one has their personality.
So we worked hard on the eyes because eyes is very difficult. We tried to make embroidery on the head, but then the eyes were standing out.
Like and they were very flat. I mean, lifeless.
Yeah, it was.
And then we tried buttons, but that was too strange. And then we actually made holes in the head, and then we put the porcelain eyes inside, but that was very spooky. So we had to hide the dolls because we were really scared of them. You know, like that film when they wake up and they do bad things. So we, like voodoo dolls, so that didn't work. But then we were in Mexico City. We went to a museum and we saw this painting by Diego Rivera. Her name is Pita Amor, and she has a very strange look in her eyes, maybe too many volumes. But anyway, it's a nice look. So we decided that's the look for the dolls.
So we decided that we should knit holes in the balls in the head, and then we made these small fried eggs. Kind of the eyes looks like fried eggs. And then we put them in the ball.
And then you can decide what way the dolls are going to look. That's good.
And this is Carlos and Mini Carlos.
This is when you have this is the idea is if you have a sweater that you knitted that you really like, you can knit it for your own doll.
It's inspired from a friend in Paris, and she's one of the girls that never has anything to put on.
This is one of the favorite characters in the book. Her name is Ulla, and Ulla Ull in Norwegian means wool, and Ulla is a name, and it was just playing.
Woolly.
She's very woolly, and we put it in the washing machine to see what was going to happen, and it was quite funny to see poor Ulla, spinning around in the washing machine. Sometimes her face was hitting the window of the machine. It was very funny. And then when she came out, she had all these dreadlocks, and we thought, oh, she became very alternative, like
very 70s.
So she knits all the time, and she knits all these crazy patterns because she wants to be a little bit crazy. And then we have Lolita, punk Lolita. She's crazy in love with punk, and she wants. Anyway, in the book we decided that we needed an urban sort of trendy coffee scene. So they're drinking caffè latte in a cafe, and we decided that we didn't want to use. We wanted to do it like a kid, so we made the table with a wine glass, and the stools are made with our coffee cups. And if you're wondering how we did the coffee shop, it's two lanterns, the ones with the door, and you put the candle inside. We put them, facing each other, and then we open the doors, so you have the look of a coffee shop. And it's photographed against the window, so you have the natural light from the outside coming in, and it's really cool.
And it's very funny to see we have a Strikkedukker Facebook, and a lot of people are knitting themselves, and they're knitting dolls, and they're placing them in different environments, and they are taking pictures and posting them on the internet. So it seems like the dolls are living their own life in a way.
Go on Facebook, go to become friends of Strikkedukker, and then when we really hope that when the book is coming in the Netherlands, that we have a lot of Dutch Strikkedukker coming up. We really will love to see what you do with them, and we really look forward to that.